Hey everybody, this is the superstar Bill Martell, and right now you're listening to the FTW podcast.
Harrison and Rob, Kevin and Joe, talking about the wrestlers that you know. FTW podcast, FTW podcast, FTW podcast.
This is what it sounds like when about 6 guys just get done with a gay orgy and none of them are gay. They're kind of like, okay, we're never going to talk about this again. Never.
What the hell happened at that party?
Secret
First rule,
No, I get it.
First rule of Survivor Series is...
Yeah, you can't tell. That's fine. Alright, everybody, welcome to the FTW podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. I am Harrison, and with me as always is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Beer, 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 beer.
Rob, say hello, Rob.
Hey.
Kevin, say hello, Kevin.
Sup?
And tonight, once again, straight from the Limpcast, is Scott. Say hello, Scott.
I'm handy for Mr. Hands.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Listen to the last episode of the Lethal Injection podcast.
So
Anyway.
that's it. It's gonna be like that kind of thing. We got to listen to the show in order to understand that joke.
Oh yeah, they're now become sister podcasts. You've got to listen to them both to get all the jokes.
Okay. And tonight is episode number 89. It was recorded on November 22nd, 2011. Gobble gobble, happy Turkey Day. We're gonna start things off with a little bit of Impact Wrestling. Rob, what was your favorite thing? I'm sorry. What was your favorite thing about Impact?
My favorite thing is, that's going to be kind of hard to come up with, but I think it's got to be, looking at the whole show, I think it's got to be Crimson and Matt Morgan beating Mexican America to become the new TNA Tag Team Champions. I thought that's an interesting little twist given the way their pay-per-view match ended and how fans still want to see which one of those two is better. Now all of a sudden they're Tag Team Champions.
Okay.
That seems to be like the old WWE formula to build tension between two guys is that they're forced together.
It works.
Yeah, but they work together surprisingly well. I mean, Crimson and Matt Morgan made a really good tag team. And like I said, it's not like there was a plethora of great matches to choose from on this Impact. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, people.
Okay, our friend Velo487 on Twitter questioned whether or not it would be a bad move to push Storm versus Angle and therefore removing Storm from a feud with Rude. Do you think this was a bad move? And do you think it's a bad move, and do you think it basically removes him from the title race?
Removes who from the title race? Rude?
Yeah.
It would remove Storm from the title race because Rude's got the belt currently.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it removes Storm from the title race. Sorry.
Yes.
Brain fart.
Yes, on both counts. I think it's a much better feud to have Storm go up against Rude, and I don't want to see Storm removed from the title race, which, if he feuds with Angle, that's pretty much what it's doing.
Well, do you think it's a bad move? I mean, so you think it's
yes,
it's bad?
on both counts.
Like,
I think it's a bad idea to have him feud with Angle right now. I mean, Storm and Rude, they've got a great feud building. There's a lot of stuff to work with, and you've got two guys who are quote-unquote TNA originals feuding over the belt. Now you're bringing Angle back into the mix.
Okay, cool. The other question I had was Garrett Bischoff. Yes, Garrett Bischoff beating Gunner. That got a lot of hate. Was it? I mean, I don't want to say was it valid, but how can I ask this and be diplomatic? Was it as terrible as some people have led those who would? Did it suck?
It's David Flair all over again, and I think that's where a lot of the hate is coming from, is that people who are fans of WCW, we've seen this before with Ric Flair and David Flair.
Yeah, that was actually a hashtag that was bandied around a lot. And
as I watch the Bischoff...
Wait, Harrison, have you just become the WWE Twitter engine?
No, I'm just saying. No, yes, I have. I need a little pop-up graphic I'll put on my webcam. Bloop.
Okay.
And I think that's, like I said, I think that's where a lot of the hate's coming from, because as I watch Garrett Bischoff versus Eric Bischoff, which we haven't actually gotten to yet, it's throwing everybody but Eric at him. I think that's right where it is. The thought that runs through my mind is like, oh wow, this is like Ric Flair versus David Flair, only it's the Bischoffs instead of the Flairs.
Okay. No, go on. And you were going to say about... Continue, sorry.
No, I'm done on the Bischoff thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, what else did you want to talk about Impact?
About Impact? Well, let's see. The low point of the night, I think, has to be the Karen Jarrett, Jeff Hardy segment. God, that sucked. And any momentum, any crowd interest that had been built up to that point died horribly during that segment. Then you have Robbie E. beating Devon, which officially signals the end of Devon's career. Like I said, other than that, it was really like kind of a lackluster... Oh, one thing that I wanted to mention. Mickie James.
Yeah.
Kevin and I are avowed Mickie James fans, but God damn it, I wanted to see Velvet Sky end up as the number one contender. I did not want to see Mickie James get another shot at the belt. Push Velvet Sky. Push Velvet Sky. God damn it, push Velvet Sky.
Hey, I'm not going to disagree with you, man. I'm a huge Sky mark.
So push Tara, is what you're saying.
I'm fine with that. Well, yeah, I'm fine with that, too. But yeah, Velvet Sky is... she's... all right, cool. Any final thoughts on Impact before we move on?
Just kind of average, given coming off of a pay-per-view. If we want to use the rating system, 2.5, maybe 3 stars.
SmackDown.
My favorite thing about SmackDown... Yeah, it was kind of rough. It was kind of rough, in my opinion. I mean, you saw it. There was no match that truly stood out as good. I mean, I guess you'd have to go with the default of Randy. Oh, I take that back. Yeah, Randy Orton, Sheamus against Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes. With Randy Orton and Sheamus winning by DQ. I love watching Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes right now. Cody Rhodes is on top of his game, and Wade Barrett's building up some steam too. And I'm proud of those guys because I was not a Wade Barrett fan back in
when he started at
NXT. Yeah, I was like, really, he's the one who won. I can't really. He's coming to the ring with a cape and a rose. I'm like, what are you, fucking Don Flamenco? What is this, Punch Out? He's even got the little hair swirl and everything, and I'm just like, all right, jab him, he blocks, he's gonna punch, and you just keep hammering him till he falls.
And he'll do the stupid little dance before.
Dance. Yeah.
And then he swallows the rose when he goes to do the punch.
He does? Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did.
It just disappears, so it looks like he eats it and winces as the thorns cut up his throat. But no, I mean, Dolph Ziggler beats Sin Cara. At least it's on SmackDown. They actually announced that Dolph Ziggler is going to face John fucking Morrison for the title, the U.S. title.
John.
Why Johnny Mo? Why Joe Mo? No Joe Mo. But the one highlight was Big Show looking for Mark Henry, running across Jinder Mahal, and just knocks him the fuck out.
Yeah, speaking of which, do you really think, I mean, we're into week 3, do you really think that they're seriously building Henry versus Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania 28? And do you think Mark Henry is going to hold the title for that long?
It's a possibility.
I really hope so.
Talk about Survivor Series before you actually have that question, though.
Okay.
Well, yeah, all right. I mean, it started.
Yeah, I mean, we can move on because
we can revisit it.
There's nothing else left to talk about in SmackDown, in my opinion.
Suck it, Scott. All right, time to talk about Survivor Series. Before we do that, we gotta do predictions because I have some good news. Good news, Kevin. You tied with me.
Yes, I did.
I'm at 8. Joe and Kev, you're tied at 6. Rob's at 5. Garvin's still way back at 1. Tied with you, Scott, and you're a guest star. So, good job, Garv.
Hey, Scott, anytime you want to send in your predictions and get in this, do it.
I might have to.
2 guys on his tail. So he's going to have to actually pick games, pick winners.
Yeah, because
I can't just play Joe. That's totally what
exactly.
I said, too.
Yeah, I only lost I lost because of one fucking match. God damn you, Orton.
Yep, you picked Orton.
Yep.
Son of a
Should've
bitch.
picked Barrett, man.
So, I mean, looking over the U.S. Championship match, we didn't predict because we predicted for Ziggler. I mean, for Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
It's the Z's. It's fucking me over here. But that was a good match. Ziggler shows why he has the belt.
Yes, absolutely.
The Divas Championship match was the second one, and had my moment of the night until the World Championship match, which was Beth Phoenix giving the glam slam to Eve off the top fucking rope. That was
awesome.
beautiful.
It was awesome.
That was fantastic.
If they're going to start pushing the Divas more to do shit like that, to really bring them out of that stereotypical box, then the Divas are worth watching.
Yeah, and I think hands down it's Glamazon and Eve. I mean, you can talk about how great she looked, but Eve looked amazing in that match.
That's a nice little bite.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, no, she looked really... This is the Eve of old. No, she looked great.
Yeah, she did.
Was anybody else as disappointed by the World Heavyweight Championship match as I was?
Yeah,
compared to
besides
how
the one moment.
besides the elbow drop, which was phenomenal. I mean,
There was
it was
a lot
kind
of
a
boring chance there should have been. They went back to that first match where they're trying to take each other's knees out. They raised the bar, and then they went backwards to what didn't work. I didn't really understand what Show and Henry were thinking here. It wasn't good. Save Show's elbow drop at the top, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And I've noticed that's kind of been a thing with the Big Show recently. It's like he'll have a great match, and then the next match he sucks. He's been very inconsistent lately when it comes to turning in a great performance.
I think you have to blame both of them though, and I think it's the story they tried to tell. I don't think it had anything to do with their performance itself. I just think they went back to what they tried the first time, which was taking out each other's knees and wearing people down. When people wanted to see these two just beat the living hell out of each other because they're two giants in the ring.
Yeah.
My theory: set up for TLC.
I hope so.
These two guys, table letters and chairs match. When they're Because I thought it was kind of going to go that way when...
they should be in a ladder match.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. The logistics of that alone.
High-low
You would
match?
need like a super enforced ladder, because at some point both of them have to climb up there, and just that amount of weight on a one
Not
ladder
to mention
alone.
what you have to do to the ring.
Exactly. The pads on the ladder. You're talking about 6 tons on something about this big. You think about the surface area of your hands.
Now, let's go back. There was, at one point, who was it? Was it Show or was it Henry, who was in a ladder match previously, and they talked a lot about the reinforced ladder.
It was Henry.
It was?
No, it was Henry
Oh.
because it was Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was. Good job, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. See, we keep you around for something.
Yeah,
Yay!
not nearly as good as Bill Martell last week, man. He was busting out the...
Hey, he's an actual
Shit
wrestler.
from
Up
the
there.
80s.
Come on, he busted out a WWE magazine reference, 15 years old. Okay, so Survivor Series match. Did not like that they treated it like a gimmick and not the reason for the show.
Well, back when they first started Survivor Series, that's all it was
Yeah.
those matches.
And it was
gave something
great.
special.
But
You're stepping on the one bitch that I've had every year, and I believe last year you gave me shit for it.
no, I've always been on your side, Joe. And then next year, I will give you shit for it.
Okay.
Fair enough. No, I completely agree. I mean, I always loved the classic Survivor Series matches, and it's definitely a shame that it's become like a gimmick match, just a reason why they named the pay-per-view, just like TLC and all that. And it's just not cool. I was even just telling Kevin on Sunday, it's like they should have at least one more, just to validate the pay-per-view name.
But it's got to be 5-on-5, and who else was available?
They have... What, 2 brands plus like the jobbers and superstars? Come on, you
This
could have
would-
easily
it's-
padded it out.
Then you got to match up jobbers and
WWE, they
superstars.
have-
What happened to Zack Ryder? You could have put Zack Ryder in there.
Don't even
You
start
beat
with
me
Tyler
to it.
Rex.
You beat me to it. That's one thing that you have to consider. And
Tyler Rex, the Dude Buster. Come on.
The
nobody wants to see a
WWE,
You
dude
could
buster,
fill it
come
out.
on.
Are you
the
telling me?
WWE has more employees, and by employees I mean active wrestlers, than the entire population of the state of Rhode Island. They could have found another 5-on-5 match here.
Are you telling me
You had
that
to think about that
Ziggler
one, didn't you?
Hang on. Are you telling me that Ziggler would have had a better push had he been in a 5x5 match than what he actually got?
He was in a 5-on-5 match. You didn't see Team
Not
Morton
Ziggler.
versus Team
Damn
Barrett?
it! Damn it, Joe!
Ryder.
Ryder.
Disease. He's
Doing
doing
a
it to me.
No, they can do it. I mean, if he could have come out and challenged Ziggler, and then even have more heat if he was against him in, if they would have done some shuffling and put him in Team Orton. If you put Ryder in Team Orton. I mean, you could have taken out Hunico from Team Barrett, and you could have put him with the Mexicools.
Right. Oh, God, I hate how you call it that. All right, CM Punk versus Del Rio, ADR. Good match.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was a solid match.
Okay.
That was absolutely wonderful.
Rock
These
Cena
guys just worked so well
versus
together.
Rock Cena versus Miz Truth. Basically, the only reason for Survivor Series to exist, if you were watching the show, that match sucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terrible. Brock
It
had
wasn't-
like,
it-
what, minute 15?
Yeah, and Scott was sitting right next to me on the couch, and he's like, "This is what I thought would happen." He's like, "I thought Cena would sit there, get beat on, and we wouldn't see anything from the rack."
Until the end.
That's exactly right. And then what a shitty way to end it. They do it with the people's elbow, the most takes way too long, and everybody should roll out of the ring move in sports entertainment today. The Rock Bottom's his finisher. It always has been. Let him do the gimmick and then Rock Bottom. No, and he does the people's elbow in 1, 2, 3. No good.
My question for you guys, how badly did you want to buy a beer after the pay-per-view ended for Cena? How badly did you want to take Cena out to the bar and buy him a beer? That guy,
Not at all.
Are you serious? That guy laid down and
No,
let
dude,
that match.
he's making enough money. He can buy me beer.
No, that guy,
You could buy beer with
seriously,
pocket change.
come on. Metaphorically. You know what, forget it. Let's just move on. Let's talk about Raw. Fuck it. I'm trying to make a legitimate point, but, it's fine. We'll talk about Raw.
This is Harrison. This is this show. You can't go metaphorically with us. I mean, we're
Trying to elevate the discussion, trying
I'm
to
with
make
ya.
it more than what you would find.
Titties.
How the hell are you trying to elevate the discussion by talking about having pity on Cena? You tard! How could you have any sympathy for Cena? He's one of the highest paid guys on the freaking roster. He deserves a little beatdown from time to time.
He carried that entire match, and is the reason for that match even lasting as long as it did. He let Miz and Truth beat on him and not Rock. And when it was done and
Yeah,
over
and
with,
how many pay-per-views have we
30,000
seen where
fans booed him.
Cena's opponent carries him? I
and
mean, seriously,
30,000
every
fans
single
booed him.
pay-per-view.
I mean,
Every single pay-per-view, we see Cena's opponent carry him. It's about time he actually did some fucking work.
Wait a minute, Scott. Are you stoned?
Thank you, Rob.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, I've watched John Cena for pretty much his entire career. He rarely does not get carried in a match. He's usually the person doing the carrying. And this guy works so hard behind the scenes, they have to fucking lock him out of the gym and force him to take a vacation. And the guy pays his dues.
Along with Rob.
And lately,
Hey, no,
arguing.
Scott,
And-
here. I got a question for you.
he turns in his trademark great performance, and the crowd shits on him for it.
Bingo.
the crowd is tired. Here's the problem. The
Please
big
tell me
problem
that's
here
true.
with this match.
We're gonna get to this. We're gonna get to
We're
this.
going to get to that. But the only thing, Scott, that I have is a slam dunk that I'm going to shove in your face and prove you're wrong when NXT debuted. Cena was the face of the company. He laid there and let 8 nobodies get over on him for 15
Okay, twice a year does not qualify. No, here's the problem. Here's the real problem with this whole thing. Cena could beat Miz and Truth by himself. They did it leading up to the fucking pay-per-view. That's the problem. They didn't. It was a bad booking to do this the way they
And it's
did.
the booking, not him.
Right.
But I think that the fans turning on him and shouting at him, it's
Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. All right, so Raw. Raw was after Survivor Series. It happened. The only thing I want to talk about is Punk and Ziggler.
I was going to jump right to the beginning of the show.
Oh, okay.
There's one
Yeah,
thing
sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
that irks me. They're obviously building up Ryder huge. They had The Rock talking about him. They had Cena talking about him. Their two biggest faces. This kid's getting the crowd reactions of a lifetime right now. He is purely built of seemingly his own work. Granted, there are people working with him to do his videos, but still, it's really been the Ryder push. That, you know, so almost a self-start. You're pushing him so large. These guys are giving him the nod, and Del Rio beats him in under 3 minutes in a match. You're hurting his push. You could have put John Morrison in that spot. You could have put you could put other people in that spot and had Del Rio beat them.
They don't have any faith in him. It's obvious why he's done this petition thing. They chanted, "We want Ryder" at Survivor Series. It is obvious to me the higher-ups don't have faith in Ryder. The fans want to see it. The fans want him out there. Same thing Punk said at the beginning of the show. You don't listen to the crowd as they're chanting, "We want Ryder." That's what this boils down to me. Upper management is saying, we don't have faith in Ryder to get it done.
It is that, but it's two other things. One, Del Rio did hold gold. Ryder hasn't. So to have Ryder hold his own against ADR is kind of weird. Plus, Zack Ryder, the crowd may be going after Zack Ryder. What if he doesn't deliver?
They're not really giving him the shot.
That's the thing. It's like you gotta keep sticking him out there and seeing what happens. Because if you just throw him, like if he would have had a Survivor Series match, not even Survivor Series, like a straight match against him and I don't know Ziggler, throw him out there. If he doesn't deliver, oh shit! You just lost all that, and it's not just him. It's all that potential that he could have built up.
Right, but I understand that when you're putting up against Dolph Ziggler as the testing block, and Ziggler's doing fucking amazing. I am so happy with Ziggler's work and everything. But it just seemed to me that to put him against a large heel like ADR right now hurt him. If it was a lower level heel, and I don't know, it just seemed like is the big banhammer pretty quickly. But then again, we could see him bounce back and take on Ziggler, so who knows?
Well, there's definitely going to be a match between Ziggler and Ryder for the title. That's not an issue. But with the whole ADR thing, I mean, the biggest thing is that right now ADR seems kind of abysmal without some kind of a push, and Ryder was the best guy for them to put under ADR to get at least ADR back over. Yeah, it sucks that the fans didn't get to see what they wanted to see, but I mean, they're just now really giving Ryder a chance to go out there on a weekly basis to really get things done. So you need to give him a little more time to flourish before you can actually get him in a title picture.
Point taken.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and what happens if he doesn't flourish? What if he folds? All that work, all that potential, all those woo-woo-woo T-shirts are just going to sit there in a warehouse somewhere. So, I mean, I can understand why WWE's kind of slow burning this one.
Although Survivor Series was the biggest night of selling Broski T-shirts. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It broke a record, yeah.
Surprised you didn't see that on the Twitter pop-up. All right, so CM Punk and Ziggler, usually, look, I've gone on record numerous times saying that Raw immediately after pay-per-view, because it's the next day, the matches are usually okay. Dude, holy shit. These guys can't be stopped.
That could have been... I mean, that's in the running for Match of the Year.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
Said it last week. Put Ziggler up against the main eventer and see what he can do.
And
there
these are two, and these are two guys who had amazing matches the night before.
And Ziggler wrestled too. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of in Survivor Series. I mean, he was in the Survivor Series match for a few minutes. But yeah, you got a good point. He couldn't just go and ice down his knees. He had to get back out there. I'm floored at that. I am absolutely floored at that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it kind of sucks that both Ziggler and Cody Rhodes are both heels, because I'm trying to think what kind of match they'd have.
Give it some time. I mean, they're really building Ryder. Not Ryder. God damn it! They're building Ziggler, awesome. And Ziggler is just. They're doing it right. He could be the next quote-unquote Bret Hart. We were talking with Bill last week about the slow buildup of guys and how you really should build them up slowly, and they're doing it perfectly with him.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
This could be a lifer.
Awesome Truth split up officially. reason why is because R-Truth was suspended for 30 days for his first violation of WWE's wellness policy. So apparently his THC level was, what's up?
So he got crunk, seriously.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. So what happens to the awesome one now?
Well,
Face
clearly
turn?
he got crunk. Please, God, no. No face turn. Please, God, no, no. I mean, they've built him so much as a heel that you give him a face turn, you might as well just fire the guy. Don't even bother bringing him back if you're going to bring him as a face.
Kills his momentum. I don't see how he's main event when he comes back.
I just want to clarify, because Harrison said the awesome one.
Sorry, awesome.
Which would
okay.
Okay.
Miz is what I meant.
Okay, that's why I wanted to clarify. For R-Truth, if you turn him face when he comes back, you've killed him.
Yeah.
The only way he's getting anything is because he's a heel and he's doing the crazy heel well roll. No, but if you're going to talk Miz, if you're going to push somebody to be, if you have to turn one of those two face, let me ask you guys, would it make more sense to make Miz a face?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question. I don't know why it hasn't happened already, to be honest with you. I don't know if maybe they're waiting until after WrestleMania, but it has to happen. The guy has a ton of credibility. He's way over. You know, I'm surprised it hasn't, but I guess with hurting CM Punk, it makes sense that you would keep him the main heel.
Right,
but I mean, the question is how do you do it?
I can figure something.
Well, this is a guy that's been able to turn people from nothing to insta-face. So this guy clearly has so much heat.
You make him a tweener. You put him right in the middle.
Yeah, but you already got CM Punk doing that role.
No, I think Punk's locked into face right now. But Miz could do it, but I know why they haven't, and I don't think they should for a while. But out of the two, if you're going to turn one of the two, I think Miz would probably make the most sense because he's got the more. I think he's more versatile to go back or forth.
Maybe I'm with Scott that it'd be weird if it just logistically it's difficult to see happen. But I gotta be honest, Miz to me just looks like he just reminds me of Jericho. Just he was good at both face and a heel, so much better as a heel.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. He can be face. How do you do it? That's the only thing that I ask.
You have to find someone that's even more of a heel than him that he could go up against.
Have him face Nash.
Well, that'd just be
take Nash out.
That'd be the worst match of all time.
I'm not if anyone's able to carry Nash, I mean, The Miz would be one of those guys that could do it. But you got Nash, who's actually getting some pretty decent heat here. And honestly, I mean, how many matches does he got left? So if you really want to get Miz insta over, the best way to do it would be taking out a big heel dog, and that would be Nash.
Good point. Yeah. Hey, look at that. We solved the logistic problem. Good job. Dang. WWE,
Thanks.
You can send the checks to our FTW PayPal account. All right. Main news. All right. So how do you solve a problem like John Cena? Cena, the face of the WWE and the biggest star of the current generation of wrestlers, was loudly and enthusiastically booed before, during, and especially after the main event at Survivor Series. At one point, Rock got up on the corner after pointing and encouraging Cena to celebrate their victory and get a cheap pop. Rock was cheered, Cena was booed. And actually, Rock mouthed to the crowd, I don't know what you want. You can see it on the camera. Anyway. Look, to me, this goes beyond the heel face of a crowd reaction. But do you guys think this is basically a straight rejection of John Cena and his current character by a very vocal group of WWE fans?
Yes, absolutely.
Totally.
Because they've shoved him down our throats. He's been in every main event picture. He can't take a legitimate loss to anyone. And look, I don't think it's Cena. Like you guys said, the guy is company all the way. I have the utmost respect for Cena and everything that he does, and getting buried by NXT, the guys. But you're what we said earlier. The booking is the problem. It's been him main event at the end of every show when we want Punk to be there, when we want other guys to get pushed to that level, but they need to sell the T-shirts. I mean, is it business? Probably, but the WWE has to take a look at themselves and see why this has happened. and they can only point the finger back at themselves because that's the bottom line. I mean, the generation of 16 to 30 that has watched wrestling their entire life, particularly those in the mid-20s, are the ones that are booing Cena because we're tired of seeing him in the main event and we're tired of the same thing.
I don't know if it's necessarily tired of him being in the main event all the time. I think the mistake the WWE has made with John Cena, and like I said earlier when I was criticizing Scott, I've watched Cena almost his entire career, and I think the problem the WWE made with him is they forced him into like this generic babyface role, like
He's a
the
Boy
Marine.
Scout.
Yeah, the Boy Scout. And that's really what's hurting him. That's what I think people are getting tired of. I mean, when he's had feuds with CM Punk, when he's had feuds with The Rock, when they go back and forth on the mic, you see a little bit of Cena's true persona come out when they go back and forth, and the crowd cheers. That's what I think the crowd wants to see. They want to see John Cena allowed to be himself and not, and get away from Vince saying, well, just go out there, do your little salute, and dance like the monkey that you are.
All right, Scott, what do you think? Because we were kind of getting on you pretty hard about it earlier.
Oh yeah, thanks. There's part of truth in what you're saying, Rob. I mean, I think necessarily that it's not the problem that he's being such a Boy Scout. It's that it's the same thing week in and week out. I mean, he could be doing the ghetto battle rap thing week in and week out, and you can only watch so much of that before people get bored of it. He's doing the same thing over. Every single match that he's ever worked, it always has the same story. Cena gets beat down through the middle of it. He hulks up a la Hulk Hogan, does his 3-move set, and boom, done. And now, ever since his CM Punk match in Money in the Bank, now he's actually throwing a random drop kick. He's throwing in random moves that we've never seen him do in the last 5 years. So, the fans are cheering him when he starts kind of giving glimpses of that edge side of him, mainly because of the fact it's something different.
Yep,
it's
right.
something out of the new.
Yep.
It isn't necessarily that he's always in the main event. It's just that finally he's doing something new. And if he would actually probably do that heel turn, if he would change his persona up a bit, the WWE would the WWE community would probably respect him a whole lot more. And I honestly do believe that it's WWE that's keeping him like that, not John Cena.
I'm exactly with you. Maybe get away from the five-knuckle shuffle. I mean, as soon as we saw those movesets, they started booing unmercilessly. They booed him mercilessly. You're exactly
During that shoulder
right.
block, especially. The second he busts out that first shoulder block,
it.
crowd
As soon
booed
as
him.
they saw him run the ropes, they lit into him.
But the problem with this is that the WWE won't let him turn heel because then he loses the demographic of the little kids, and they're not selling Cena merchandise anymore.
That's exactly it.
So I think at some point somebody in the WWE has to grow a pair of balls and say, okay, either we're going to let Cena turn heel, we're going to keep him face and let him keep a little bit of that edge because it's new and different and the crowd likes that, or we've got to come up with something else. Because when The Rock is standing on the ropes and like looking at the crowd and like, oh, I don't know what you people want, that's a problem.
No, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, if you would have said the same thing, I would have agreed with you on that. But the WWE community has obviously accepted the fact that they don't like John Cena, but yet John Cena's merchandise still sells. I don't think at this point it's a matter of him being heel or face. I think his merchandise is going to sell no matter what. And it's only a matter of time before the WWE finally sees that.
Okay,
Do you think so, Scott? You think you can still sell the merchandise to like little kids and stuff if he turns heel? I'm not criticizing you or anything. I'm just you honestly.
How do you think it's selling now?
Well, I don't know.
They can't have a gigantic box of freaking child-sized shirts waiting for every little 8-year-old, 9-year-old. No, there's big boys that are buying those shirts too. There's people that will still support John Cena.
Garvin
You know,
makes a great point. Garvin makes a great point in chat. Bret Hart still sold merch even though he went heel.
That's the thing. By going heel, you don't necessarily lose
Right.
the main demographic. So the question is,
But
Look-
Bret Hart was also Attitude Era. Now in the PG era where WWE is trying to push itself, WWE is giving itself a whole new mentality. So you have to.
Right, but I mean, if you were to turn Cena heel, you're giving something a little more fresh to the fans that they haven't seen in a while, and that will sell merchandise, especially if he plays a heel well. You're telling me that Miz shirts didn't sell when Miz was getting a push? Bullshit. There were kids all over the place that were buying Miz shirts. Granted, it wasn't the creepy Miz girl, but still.
we don't know that. She could have bought like 8 of them.
Well, they gave her one. There was that picture of him posing with her when she did the
the award.
The award, yeah. The Slammy.
She was such a good
There's one
sport.
point I want to
But
make,
bottom line is, if there's ever
Okay.
a time, it's now.
Kevin,
They
then Scott.
have a super face with CM Punk. If there's ever a time, it has to be now. But I still don't think they do it. If they didn't do it at Survivor Series, then when?
Right. The only other time I could think to turn Cena heel, it would be either right before or sometime during WrestleMania. Because I think he's got to be a heel before he faces The Rock. Because whether he wants to be, whether WWE wants him to be or not, he's going to be a heel when he faces The Rock in Miami.
That would be the time to do it. Because if you want to turn Cena heel, you got to find someone the fans love more than him. And definitely going to tell you, the guys cheering The Rock at Survivor Series outnumbered the guys cheering Cena. Hands down. So,
Oh, yeah.
Scott, final thoughts, Scott, before we move on.
Well, the only thing that I was going to say is about the Bret Hart thing. It wasn't necessarily that his merch was selling when he turned heel because of the Attitude Era. Bret Hart was still highly respected. I mean, the guy could punch babies and people would still buy his shirts. Bottom line.
Especially in Canada. Can you punch a baby in
I
Canada?
mean, he had the whole.
Oh, he's
punch
a
it-
god in Canada.
You can punch a baby anywhere. It's just whether or not you get in trouble.
No, I really
eat
don't
a
think
baby
you
and
can.
still be popular.
No, I think Canada is so nice. Physics itself will not allow you to punch a child there. It's like a force field. You just go boom, and your fist bounces back, and the child's fine.
Or the baby disappears, reappears, is teleported into.
Turns into a hockey puck to absorb the blow.
Garvin, our producer Garvin's got a great line. If he punched an American baby, he would have gotten so over in Canada, which is true. if he would have slapped an American child, his stock in Canada, he would have been elected all of Parliament. He would have been Parliament. It would have been him. Bret Hart will lead us into the great beyond. All right, you guys ready for quick hits?
Let's go.
It's
Time for quick hits. All right, guys. For those of you guys new to the show, each one of us is going to get about 30 seconds to sound off on a news topic. If there's time afterwards, we'll scream at each other for a little bit. Item number 1, a URL flashed during Raw leading to a video on YouTube of some kid doing some homework and reciting really crappy poetry. This took the wrestling world by storm, as it was planned to do. It led to rampant speculation, as it was planned to do, about the return of everybody from Taker to Kane to Jericho, and I am not joking, Brock Lesnar. He is the second shooter of the grassy knoll for the IWC. They will not let this guy go. I'm not going to recite it. Anyway, what'd you guys think? Who's coming back, and how cool was it? Kevin.
Taker. That's my guess. I hope it's Kane because I think they should put Kane up against Mark Henry to take the title. I think that would be the best way to go with it. I think it's Taker, but a few people think it's Lesnar. You're out of your freaking mind.
Okay. Scott.
I don't think it's going to be Taker or Kane because Kane got his own little promo to kind of hint towards his comeback. And I don't think it's Taker only because it wasn't really like a gothic promo. They only talked about a force. So I'm not sold that it's Taker. I do believe that Brock Lesnar is possible. I know Dana White's got a firm grasp on his balls, but still, you never know.
Rob.
Dana White fucking owns Brock Lesnar. It's not a firm grasp on his balls. He owns Brock Lesnar.
That's a pretty firm grasp on his balls.
True. Now, granted, I'd agree with you a little bit, Scott, that it would seem to not be Taker because the promo wasn't gothic enough. But Kane got his own promo already in the show. I'm going to say it's Taker that's coming back.
Okay. Joe.
All right, here's my thought on it. It may or may not be Kane, but what's going to happen is Kane will come back and he will fight Masked Kane. And then when Masked Kane removes his mask, revealing another bald head of The Undertaker, because fucking Taker shaved his head semi-recently, we've seen photos of that, it's going to build toward Kane versus Taker at WrestleMania, and Kane will be the 20th victim of The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
But which one of them becomes the next Hunico? No, I like what you're saying, Joe.
Paul Bearer.
Yeah. I'm trying to see Paul Bearer. La Viva la Raza! Kurt, La Viva la Raza! La Viva la Raza! All right, it's official. Scott does the best Paul Bearer impression. My favorite, like, I'm with you guys. It's Taker all the way. But I like Joe's thing because that would be entertaining to watch. My favorite was our Facebook page lit up with this. Kyle, best thing ever. Like, the instant after we posted this, look, can we just say it's not going to be Sting? It's not going to be Sting. It's never going to be Sting. I laughed so hard when I saw that.
That was good. That was real good.
Everybody's speculating. Yeah, everybody's speculating Taker. One idiot said something about Brock's status and Dana having a grip on his balls. What kind of a moron would go?
All right. What dumbass would post that publicly?
Seriously. Come on.
Yeah, it was just Taker and then a little bit of Jericho. But Scott, I'm glad you said it because look, you were a lot better about the Brock thing than everybody else was. Anyway, next item, Donald Wood on the Bleacher Report had some grade A speculation sauce you can slather on some barbecue by saying that they are rumors, and by rumors, I'm saying that he's citing a blurb that cited a tweet that started with, "I am seriously, so I heard." This is his source. Anyway, that RVD may return to WWE. Take that with a grain of salt the size of your head. If this happens, the match between him and CM Punk would seriously be awesome, you guys. I'm being super serious. Would you want to see this? Joe?
I don't know. I don't know if I mean, I love RVD, but I don't want to see him back.
Okay. Kevin?
Would I want to see it? Yes. I think it would be still a good match between two guys that would work really well together. Is this going to happen? When you cite some source that says, "So I heard," I'm going to go ahead and say no.
It was a tweet that was left on. It was some wrestling blog or something. It was like,
I heard.
Due diligence, people. Due diligence. Come on. I know we're not going after Watergate on this one, but I mean a little bit here. That's all I'm asking. Scott, your thoughts?
All right. Well, there's a couple things I could tackle real quick here. First off, if there was a way to pull RVD from 5 years ago to fight CM Punk, yes, I'd like to see that. But as far as IVD coming back to WWE, who said anything about him wrestling? They're probably going to replace Booker T on commentary.
Yeah, since Booker T's got a program with fucking Cody Rhodes.
I mean, they got to revolve out shitty commentators once a month, so, get RVD in there. He'll have no clue what he's doing. That'd be great.
Rob?
Well, doing a little bit of homework on this, I cannot find any evidence that RVD and CM Punk have ever really fought a match against each other. So
no, they way back.
They've teamed up with each other, but I never found any matches that they fought against each other.
Oh, okay, all right, that might be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, okay. So on that level, yeah, I'd like to see RVD versus CM Punk, but A, I don't think he's going to leave TNA, and B, even if he has been kind of inconsistent recently, which is why he's being buried on TNA's roster. So
yeah, okay,
it's one of those things. It would be either really awesome or incredibly crappy at this point in time.
All right. The thing is, he's not leaving TNA anytime soon because they don't really tour, and it's very hard to smuggle 5 pounds of pot on an airplane. So there is that to think about.
Beautiful.
I mean, we already saw what happened to Ron. So, he's not going. Look, I loved RVD 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Not so much now. The guy's kind of The guy isn't so much past his prime as he's willing to just kind of sit there on the porch and watch the sunset. All right. So that was Quick Hits. Now it's time for Indies, the news topics that we don't care about enough to talk about in the main show. SuperLuchas.net is saying that Sin Cara suffered a patella tendon rupture at the pay-per-view just when he was about to jump over the ropes. It snapped as he was gaining momentum to make the jump, meaning he had to know he was injured as he was going to come down ringside. Ouch. That must have been...
thinking, oh god, Honiko's going to replace me again!
Seriously, that must have been the longest fall of his life.
Hey, you never know. They might bring back Carlito to take the spot, or just give it to Primo.
Chavo!
Ooh, no, because Chavo would actually have to move quickly.
Chavo would have to shave, and I don't think he'd be able to do that. So, yeah, they need to go to Walmart and pick up another Sin Cara. TNA President Dixie Carter is being inducted to the Women's Superstars United Hall of Fame. As much as we sometimes disagree with their work, she is the president in a male-dominated industry, and she's going to be basically recognized for it, so that's kind of cool. I mean,
Don't forget her mom.
Yeah, good on her.
She signed
Forget her mom.
So, all right, so Bischoff took a shot at wrestling fans that couldn't spell his son's last name. On Twitter, he said, quote, "If online critics were as smart as they like to think, period, they wouldn't still be spelling Garrett's name wrong after all this time. And producers should be smart enough to understand how to handle fourth-grade grammar."
But spelling errors are different things.
They're spelling it wrong because it's not worth their time to learn how to spell it.
Yeah, one of the fans responded.
Yeah, one of the fans does right. One of the fans responded with that. It was awesome.
Well, no. What was the? Let me find the quote now. Let me go pull up that email. One of the fans came back and said, "If it was actually worth watching, we'd know how to spell his name."
Quote: A user said, "Nobody cares about the Garrett angle, which is probably why no one spells it properly." Nepotism rise again. Bischoff responded with, "That would explain the consistently high ratings for it, Mark." He called him a mark as a pejorative.
Yeah.
Because
Nice.
Boo.
I'm sure that guy just cut his nipples off in embarrassment.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. All right, so time for some contract fun. Jomo's contract.
Yep, that just happened.
I think Eric Bischoff is conceding the argument when he gets into a Twitter argument with one fucking fan.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I'm sorry. Garvin just corrected me. It's the Women's Superstars Uncensored Hall of Fame, not United. When I read it, I think it said United. Bunch of other nominees on here: Jazz, Molly Holly,
Sherry Martel.
Yeah, Sherry Martel, Missy Hyatt, Malia Hosaka, Cindy Rogers, Jaina,
Luna,
George
Luna Vachon.
Acropolis. I don't recognize that name.
I love that April Hunter is on this list. April Hunter is just fantastically scary.
I can't believe Jazz is on the list because she's a man.
Well, have you seen April Hunter?
No.
If you have not seen her, Google her, like now.
Hey,
no.
Like,
Luna
right
Vachon.
now.
After that, no.
Like right
No.
now.
All right, fine. I'll do it. Why not? I looked up China's
Google
penis. I can do that as well. Hey, Luna Vachon's on.
She's got a penis too.
I'm sorry, Scott. Wait, you're saying April Hunter is freaky looking?
I
God
wouldn't
damn
say
it, now I
freaky.
have
If
to
you
look
see her
it up.
naked, if you look at the vagina area, she has like the China a la penis thing going.
I don't.
Anyway, just move on.
She looks fine.
Just move on, please.
She has a body like Jomo. Anyway.
a little more vascular than I like in a woman, but that's nothing against.
Well, okay. I know you like the bitch in the relationship, so she'd probably be perfect.
I appreciate a woman that can throw me around. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I can't believe I said Jomo. Anyway, Morrison's contract runs out. If we can just deviate back to the show, Morrison's contract runs out at the end of November, and he's been taking a beating and being passed over. So maybe we won't see him anymore. He'll be future endeavored. You know,
Yeah, he's gone.
that's my speculation. Anybody else think he'll be future endeavored or no?
Yeah, probably.
I don't care.
Possibly.
I
I mean, they could keep him, but what are they going to do with him?
like we've said,
Pharisee's a jobber.
Vince has never been
Hot on the guy. No, not really. All right. And Jesse Neal basically said over Twitter that he was done with TNA. He said, you want to book me? I'm free this weekend. Let me know. Trust me, you'll get your money's worth, given what TNA spends on talent. I have no doubt of that. He said that if he said in an interview before Turning Point that if he and Moore didn't win the titles, that he'd quit. Kind of weird, though, because if he knew how the match was going to go, then he puts that out there. I mean, it's just kind of a weird timeline thing, but, he's potentially gone. So we'll see what happens to Inc.
There is an update on that. He actually retracted that statement and said that they're working it out or something. I'm paraphrasing, but...
Is he still on the site? Hang on, let me check the site real quick.
Yeah,
so
he was
checked
never
it the other day,
released, and it sounds like they're working out a deal. The original rumor was that they tried to send him down to OVW to get more training because he was too green, and he refused. So that's why he was really leaving. But that doesn't seem to be true. I don't know. It's just all rumors at this point, but it doesn't seem like he's leaving.
Yeah, he's still on the. He was on earlier before I got that update. Yeah, he was still on the roster, so he's still on the website. Well, here's the hoping it works out. I mean, he's pretty talented, and yeah, time for win fail. Wins of the week. Your win of the week, Joe.
The It Begins video. That was pretty cool, and it got a lot of people talking. I liked it.
Cool. Kevin, your win of the week, go.
My win of the week was the crew we had for Survivor Series. Damn, that was awesome. Joe, props for putting on a massively awesome party where I ate a ton of food and just sat there and watched really good wrestling. It was a great time, really, and thanks for having me over.
You're welcome.
Cool. Scott, your win of the week.
I definitely echo the sentiments made by Kevin. It was really fun to be in Michigan for Joe's awesome party. But the main actual thing that I want to make as the win is the Glamazon's move that pretty much ended that match. It's nice to see women's wrestling actually be slightly entertaining in the WWE again, and hopefully they actually take that and see the after effects of it and go, okay, well, maybe we really should actually try and wrestle our matches from now on.
I love the backhanded compliment. All right. Your win of the week, Rob.
All right, preparing for Backlash here. We've talked for numerous times about how Mike Tenay and Taz are the worst commentators in all of professional wrestling.
Swear to God, Rob, the blessed next words out of your mouth better be. And that was confirmed when...
And... my win of the week, well, my actually win of the past few weeks, is actually going to go to those two.
Don't you dare.
Because they've been focusing on the matches a little bit more, which is cool. Secondly, Tenay especially is getting back to what made me a fan of professional wrestling, where you lock up, you see the moves going on, and you're told what the move is. Calling the match, play-by-play. That's what made me a fucking fan of wrestling in the first place, and it's nice to see, especially with the direction that WWE is going with their commentators, who are spending more time picking fights with each other than doing anything. So, my win of the week is going to go to Mike Tenay, more so than Taz, but yes.
My win of the week... My win of the week is, whatever, you're entitled to your opinion even if it's wrong. My win of the week is Ziggler and CM Punk, for exactly what I was talking about at Raw. These two guys put on a hell of a match, then the next day, they did it again. And it's just like, and I mean, I would argue that the match that they had on Raw was better than both their matches on Survivor Series, the only exception to that being that Punk won the belt on Survivor Series, and that crowd loved him for it. But that match, what they did was spectacular. And I just, damn. Garvin, your win of the week.
Yeah, I wanted to show my appreciation to Jerry Lawler's commentary on Raw. That was his best Raw in like 5 years.
Well, because he wasn't trying to be funnier than anybody else.
It worked.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, that's what happened when he tries to do that. He's terrible.
Too hard.
Well, no, it's when he's trying to be, as witty. The worst was when they would have Stryker on there. And he would.
I love Matt Stryker.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
No, Matt Stryker was awesome. That's the problem. Is Matt Stryker and Cole would go back and forth, and they were just great. And then Lawler sitting there trying to, he's basically being Joe and just going, titties! Titties! You know, trying to get attention
Actually, I
back
think
to
that would be an
himself.
improvement. I think that would be an improvement if Jerry Lawler went back to going, puppies!
It would, actually.
Pigeons out!
It probably would.
Let the
Oh,
pigeons
how dare you.
loose.
How dare you make a TNA reference on WWE?
All right, fails of the week. Your fail of the week, Joe.
My fail of the week, Eric Bischoff, existing.
Nothing he did. Just the fact that he's alive is a fail.
So what you're doing is in the skee ball tournament, you're going for that nice little 10 ring right at the bottom that a 5-year-old can get at. Is what you're doing. You're not
Shit,
trying
yeah.
for the 100-point one. No, you're just gonna.
Oh, no.
the 10-point
I'm going for the
one.
100-point one, but I know I'm not going to hit it, so at least I'm going to get the 10.
Okay. All right. So you're going for the 10. All right. Just want to be sure that's where we're at. All right, Kevin, your fail of the week.
My fail of the week was the Big Show Mark Henry match at Survivor Series. Save the elbow. Look, you went back to what didn't work, and I mean, if they had tried this, if they tried something new, and it failed, I'd give them a little more credit. But we knew this didn't work the first time. Why did you regress back and go back to that? It was not necessary, and it was dumb on both of their parts. So, unfortunately, bad match and not a good idea. But I mean, the elbow did at least have some redeeming quality, so that was good stuff.
Okay, cool. Scott, your fail of the week.
Now, my fail isn't necessarily because I wanted to see it. My fail is only because they promoted the hell out of it. But no Jonah Hill on Raw after advertising the hell out of it that he was going to be on Raw. What happened there? Don't tell me because I honestly don't care. Don't bother. Don't bother.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
asking a rhetorical question here. But why? That was retarded to me.
Okay. Scott may not care, but just in case our fans do, what basically happened is all of Jonah's segments were taped, and the show was rewritten, and rewritten to the point that Jonah's segments didn't make sense anymore, so they dropped it entirely. I don't like Jonah Hill. I really couldn't give two shits if he got dropped from that show. So, but yeah, I'm with Scott. I mean, it was just like, wow, that's... Yeah, USA was teasing that up until Raw started.
Yeah.
They could have just called, no, stop, just don't. Just take the tape out of the machine. All right, Rob, your fail of the week.
My fail of the week is going to go to the Karen Jarrett and whatever genius decided not to push Velvet Sky back into the knockout picture. The genius who thought of that, whether it's Karen Jarrett or somebody else in TNA management, needs to be hit in the head with a shovel, dragged out into a field, and buried in a deep hole.
Yeah, he said deep hole.
Your mom's a deep hole.
Yeah, it's a deep hole.
My fail of the week, unfortunately, is Kevin for tying with me, or tying with Joe now for 6. See, the thing is, when I was only competing, because Kevin figured this out right away, when I was only competing with Joe to keep my lead, all I had to do was pick the same thing as Joe, except for one match, and hope that the odds fly my way. Now with 2 people, I can't do that anymore. So now I have to actually
Playing the
strategize.
freaking prevent defense instead of going for the win. So when Joe and I kick your ass, I'm
the
gonna love it.
prevent defense.
I was pulling. all
Awesome
the-
analogy, Kevin.
No, that's exactly what I was doing. I was pulling the linebackers back, playing zone and man-to-man up front on the corners because I did not want to get the deep play. So now I can't. I have to actually work, and I hate that. So my only hope is that Kevin pulls ahead of Joe, and then I can do it again. So that's my hope. Yeah, that was my.
So, Kevin, do we have the agreement that we will decide our picks ahead of time and then always pick the same thing?
We
No,
might have to.
do not pull a
We might
Belichick.
have to screw Harrison for sandbagging and letting us come back.
No, you cannot pull a Belichick on this. You have to play straight.
The only thing he can't do is then pick everything that we pick. That's the problem. And since he always decides he wants to go last.
Because I'm the one reading it. I know, it's not fair. I don't give a shit. I'm winning. Anyway, last week's question of the week was, which was most important to the wrestling industry, WCW and ECW? By far, everybody agreed with WCW, though they loved ECW. I'm not entirely sure about that. I think ECW really showed that making a more intimate atmosphere when it comes to this can be beneficial as far as building up a really rabid fan base. And you're seeing that kind of with Ring of Honor. So, and somewhat with, WWE. I mean, when CM Punk did that shoot promo, he was only catering to a very small, very vocal audience. And look what happened. I mean, he was interviewed by ESPN. Anyway, so, yeah, a bunch of our fans, WCW over ECW.
I think one of the reasons why WCW might have won is because WCW made both companies better. I mean, WCW just didn't make themselves better. They forced the WWE to be better.
Monday Night Wars. That's basically what everybody else was saying.
Right.
Zahir, Judas, Sean, Charles, all of our fans on Facebook were saying that. Yeah, it's basically WCW, but we really loved ECW, that type of thing. All right, hang on a second. What question for next week? Oh, I know what it is. All right, our question for next week that we're going to put on Facebook is, what do you do with John Cena? And I'm going to do it. What do you do with a problem like John Cena? Just like we discussed on the show, what do you do with this guy? I mean, he's getting consistently booed. I mean, is it him? Is it the booking? I mean, where do you move from here? All right, so look for that on our Facebook page. Scott, plug away the Limpcast, buddy.
Well, you can catch me every Monday morning on the Limp Podcast, which is at www.lethalinjectionpodcast.com. Feel free to make all the dildo chainsaw jokes that you feel like making. And you can also catch us on iTunes as well. And leave a review.
It's the sister show. If you want to, like Joe said, if you want to get all the jokes, you have to watch this one too. Or you have to at least listen to this one. All right, you can hit us up on Facebook. Do you guys have a Facebook page yet?
We do. But they can catch all those links off the website. I don't want to take up too much time.
Are you serious? Because we would do that if we were on your show. I mean, we would just take it over.
Oh, no. Well, that's because I only have, like, maybe 1/10 of the conversation to talk about on my show versus your show. I have to make up shit like dildo chainsaw just to fill my goddamn show.
Are you serious?
So
Well,
trust me. No, by all means.
Minecraft went gold. I mean, it's being sold right now, and it's selling like crazy. And I forget you guys-
Minecraft is gold. Lethal Injection Podcast, we're silver still. We're bronze. We're bronze right now.
Okay, all right, I'm just saying. All right.
Oh,
You can hit us
isn't
up.
too bad. At least you're worth
Oh, no, it's
something.
not bad.
Hey, you're not paper like us.
Get a certificate is what we got. All right, you can hit us up on Facebook.com/FTW Podcast, Twitter at FTW Podcast. We're live tweeting all the shows. Tons of fun on there. Basically, everybody just goes on and makes fun of me. You can phone us at 313-444-FTW4. That's 313-444-3894, and get your questions read on the air. Download our iOS and Android apps because we got bills to pay. Rate us on iTunes. We're going to have merch coming out pretty soon. We're just trying to work out some deals. And if you guys have anything else you want to let us know, you can just email us at questions@theftwpodcast.com. So, Scott, you going to buy one of our shirts?
I actually do plan on it.
Yeah, which one?
I'm not sure yet. I'm going to go through
check
with what you
anyway,
guys
did
got and pick. I did, actually.
You're totally pandering right now.